Okay, I just want to mention, obviously, results are back in here tonight. We've got so many bait stuff for everybody, okay, every pair. From 10 down to 30, with the top 10 obviously get paid out. You know how close it is, it's fall today, so anything will happen definitely, so please try your hardest. We're going to fish 10:15 till 3:15 as we normally do, and that's it. I'll see you all back here tonight. Thanks very much. Good.
Yes, it's raining. A little bit different from the last round where we were on here. It was -3 degrees on the last round. I was pegged up there. I'm on bridge 37. I was up there on the last round. It was -3. Obviously it's a little bit different today. Overcast, cloudy. It's raining. They have forecast the rain to ease off as the day goes on, so hopefully that's going to happen. I'm in what's referred to as the bowl. That's where I was last week, just up there where you've got a 4-bank chuck. I've just been told by Steve, he's come down and kindly let me know. I did ask 2 people this morning, but I've obviously asked the wrong people. I haven't got an island chuck here, so this is what they refer to, a bit of a no man's land kind of peg. But you have got a lot of open water. It hasn't been fishing brilliant. The fish have been up that end. If you haven't watched the last round's match, then that is on this channel underneath this video, so you might want to have a look at that, but the fish were caught mainly up there. But things change, as we know, but I've got loads of water here. The line that I've got is towards that aerator there, so I don't have an island cast. Okay, so I've got a line clipped up towards that aerator if I've got a cast for carp. Apologies for the rain. I've got a line just offset from that to the angler just to the left. That's going to be my main skimmer line. That's at 35 metres in the open water, obviously. And then my short line, which is the line that I've really been getting my weight on, has normally been at about 15 metres. However, I can't cast that in front of me today, but I have got permission to cast down this bank, so I'm going to utilise this quiet area. So I've got a line that's 15 metres from the bank, but it's down in front of those pegs down there. Okay, so it's actually 20 metres I've clipped up at, and it's in line with that biggest bush, biggest tree, if you can see that. Okay, so that's 20 metres down there, so it's a little bit quieter over there, and that's where I'm hoping I'm going to catch some better fish, probably later on in the session, if they're there. The setup is the same. I've got the excess slims on the main lines, on the 20 metre line and 35 metre line, 3.3 metre, and they're coupled with Horizon 3000 reels. I know people will ask all this. Braid isn't allowed here, so it's £6 Horizon main line. And there is a 50 centimetre hook length rule, so you can't have a hook length on that's less than 50 centimetres. Free running rigs, so it's very much international rules type fishing. No blood worm and joker. Richard's drawn, or I've drawn Richard peg 51 on moat, and on paper these two draws are not very good at all. Richard's is down towards the bowl on the moat, which hasn't been producing at all, so he's not over the moon with that draw. And this one it's not been producing, but there's always a chance on these wide pegs. So we're currently lying in 10th place. They're paying out the top 10. This is the final round, so they're paying out the top 10, so hopefully, you know, we're going to stay in that top 10. But on a day like today, anything can happen. I've just spoke to one of the regulars, and he says because it's so mild, 8 degrees on the van, he thinks there's going to be 1 or 2 good weights today, so a lot could change today. You know, he seems to think a pair's weight could be 30 to 35 pound today. So there will be pockets of fish if what he says is right. So we'll start on the 35 metre line, prime that 20 metre line for later on in the session, and I'll check in with you about an hour into the session just to let you know what I've seen and how it's going. I know lots of you have a look at the setup and the kind of kit I'm using, and I know a lot of you pick up on changes. I've just got a slightly different setup today in the sense that I've got the feeder on the other side. Usually I have it on there going across my body because that's what I prefer, but obviously because I'm not casting in that direction, the line I'm casting on is that line. So I've moved that over here, otherwise it would have been going across my keep nets, so I've moved it over onto that leg. And that's what's great about the versatility of these one arm feeder arms, which was great. So as you can see, the rod's in a slightly different position, but that's just so I can get that right angle for where I'm going to be casting. I know loads of people would have asked about that. Well, we are an hour in and it's very, very slow. I've got two fish for about 5 ounce. One's a little tiny carp and one's a little tiny skimmer. I've just had 2 bust pinkies, but Chris, who's about, I don't know, 8 pegs down to my right, who's down at the other end of the bowl, the other one right in the bottom of the bowl, I think he's got 2 or 3 roach, so I think there's some little roach out there. I think there's one skimmer caught opposite, and the lad 2 to my left was hooked and lost a carp, and that is it. I've not seen or heard anything else. You can see right up this bank, that wind's blowing in now, but right up that bank I haven't seen a fish or heard anything. So I'll just put double pinky on now, just to see if they are roach. I'll just see if I can get a fish. It's odd fish topping, which is strange. I've just got a 20 gram feeder on, horizon feeder, which is enough to get there to 35 metres in this wind, but even that's still sinking right into the bottom. It's really, really soft, but it's slow everywhere, so I'm just going to stick on this line, keep doing what I'm doing, just be nice and patient and leave that short line alone as long as I can, as long as I dare leave it. But I really don't want to be going on that short line for at least an hour and a half, so I'm just going to stick out there and just catch where I can and see what happens around me. Right, well, 2 hours in. I've had a few more fish, but it's just really not boosted the weight at all. I started putting some pinkies through, and from nowhere a load of little roach have turned up. This happened two matches ago before on this same lake for me. Well, it happened for everybody, but it didn't happen till the last hour, but it's happened already. The lads on the other bank where Joe Carras is, I've just heard him say that every time they cast in, the bait's getting smashed. And I've just had about 20 minutes where I've been getting roach bites. I put a few in the net, but I've still only got a total weight of about 12 ounce. So you're missing a lot of bites. They're smashing the bait because you're having to fish with pinkie, fishing at 35 metres. Everything's really against it. It's a barbless hook, you've got 50 centimetre hook length, and they're just too small. If they'd been a little bit bigger, then I might be able to put a weight together of them, but they're just not. Some of them are half an ounce. But the lads on the other bank, every time they're casting in, they're getting bites, and they're slowly putting a bit of a weight together. But over here, after that 20-minute spell, it's just gone dead. Nobody else, from what I can hear on this bank here, is getting all those bites. So it looks like those roach have really moved over there now, and they're slowly putting a bit of weight together. I haven't seen any decent skimmers caught or bream, but I've had to make the decision now. This is a weight competition. There's only 3 hours left, and I've got a very positive line short, and I'm hoping I'm going to catch one or two better fish on that a little bit later on. But I don't want to go on that yet. So I've literally had to turn this line now into a much more kind of targeted line now. So now I've cut out pinkies and maggots now, because that's what's really attracting those roach, and we're just not going to build a weight of them. Even if I could get one every chuck, it still probably wouldn't be enough, and they're not coming quick enough. So all I'm putting in now is ground bait and pellets. That is it. I can alternate hook baits, but I've got to try and catch better fish on this line now, a better stamp of fish. It's probably going to slow down now. I'm going to have to sit and be patient, but we need weight, and we're not going to get it with those little tiny roach. So I still haven't been on my short line yet. I don't want to touch that yet. So we're 2 hours in, and all I'm putting in now is micro pellets and ground bait. Put slightly larger feeder on, and I'm just going to sit and wait, slow it all down, so there's not as much activity, and hopefully I'm just going to try and pick out one or two better fish. But having said that, we haven't seen any caught whatsoever yet, so I'm hoping they're going to feed, and I'm hoping they're going to feed just there on that line, and then on this short line later on. We need the weight, simple as that. The sun's out now, which is nice. It's made it a little bit more comfortable temperature wise, but the fishing is just absolutely horrendous. I thought it was going to be hard, and they did say that this area could be hard, these pegs here, but I didn't think it'd be as hard as this. I think I've just caught one more roach in that last hour. I started putting pellets through on that line. I cut the pinkies out, and the roach, well, I wasn't getting any bites really anyway. It just died down, but I've not been pestered with roach or anything, but I'm not getting any other bites either. I haven't seen any other quality fish caught, any skimmers or bream. Had a quick look on my short line after 2.5 hours, and I'm getting one or two tiny little indications, which in my experience means that there's one or two fish milling about. They're on that feed, and quite often they are better fish. So that kind of encouraged, or gave me a bit of encouragement in that line, even though I didn't catch one. I had 3 5-minute casts on that line, and then at the end of the third cast I had a really nice bite. I thought it was going to be a skimmer, and it was a 1 ounce roach. I wasn't very happy, but I quickly put that rod down, and I went back out long again just to give that line even longer. All I can do is just go on that short line every half hour or so, just to have a look on it to see if any better fish have settled on it. But whilst I'm waiting to do that, I'm back out at 35 metres, and I just can't get a bite out there. It's just dead. The lads to my left, from what I see and hear, they're not catching at all. The lads on the other bank that were getting pestered with roach, I don't know if they're still getting bites or not. They're all very, very quiet. And Chris down to my right, I've seen him net a couple of fish. I don't know how big they were, 4 6 ounce fish. So it's very, very slow. All these matches have gone right to the wire, and this one is definitely going right to the wire, even more so, because literally after 3 hours now I've got about a pound in the net. So we're very, very desperate for some better fish, and I'm obviously hoping that they're going to turn up on that short line as soon as possible. But this is going to go right to the wire again, because it's like I say, I've got a pound in the net right now. A couple of 2-pounders on that short line or more are going to make a massive difference. I haven't heard anything from Richard. I don't know how Richard's going on, and all the lads on the other bank, whilst I'm not really watching them, they're all very, very quiet, which would normally suggest that, you know, they're not catching much. So I'm just going to keep having a look on that short line every 30 minutes, try and catch what I can while I'm out at 35 metres in those 30 minutes. And I'm just hoping, literally hoping, that some better fish are going to rock up on this short line. We're just coming into this last hour now, and very, very little has changed. I've had about 4 more little tiny roach. I've tried to fish for better fish, sit and be patient, and I have waited a long time for bites, but when I've got a bite, it's still been a little ounce or 2 ounce fish. Very desperate now. I think they've continued to catch odd fish opposite on the other bank, just ticking over. I think they're not exactly emptying it, but they're ticking over and putting fish in the net. And I've not heard anything to my left. I've no idea what's caught up to my left. This wind is blowing in now into this bowl, which I think always looks inviting, even though it's not exactly a warm wind. I just think that little bit of chop and cover can only help. I'm on that short line now. I've had 4 fish on this short line, but they've all literally been 2 ounce roach, which is really not good. It's not, you know, you really need some sign of better fish being there for you to stick on it. Like I say, we're going into that last hour now. If I'm going to catch on this line or catch any better fish, it is going to be within the next, 50 minutes, because that's what's left. But I haven't seen any net fish of that nature caught anywhere, so maybe they're just not going to feed today. I don't know, but I've not heard anything from Richard. But I've literally got about, I don't know, £1.4, £1.6. Very, very desperate, so I really need this line to kick in, even if it's just with a couple of decent net fish, just to get that weight up to being a little bit more respectable. But I've not done anything different from the rest of the rounds. Everything's the same. I've fed the same mix and everything, so hopefully it's going to come good. Right, I guess I better do this now. I was hoping to fish this entire league without having any sort of a blowout, but this has definitely been a blowout. The lads to my left, I don't really know what they've caught. I've got to be absolutely honest with you. I know they've caught over there where Joe Crass is. I could hear Joe most of the day. They've caught quite a few fish over there. I don't know what sort of weights we're looking at. I don't know if it'll be double figures, might be 7-8 pounds, I don't know. But that's it. I've fished exactly how I've fished both previous matches on this lake. Same approach, same mix, everything exactly the same. And I probably had about 20 fish So obviously there, the evident thing is there that I just haven't had any net fish. And until I speak to the rest of the lads here and see the weigh-in, I don't honestly know if any of those net fish have fed today, or whether they just haven't fed here in this area where I've been. I don't know. So that's it. I was hoping we were going to get a visit on that short line, but it just never happened. But I haven't done anything different, so why ever it's not worked, I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see if, as we go around the lake, you know, whether any of those better skimmers or bream have actually fed, and if they have, it'll be interesting to see where they've been caught. But that's it, that's the series done. We were in 10th place, which was the last framing place, payout position, and even if Richard's had a good day, which I don't know, I've not heard from him, even if he's had a good day, I'll be incredibly surprised to see us hold on to a top 10 finish. But obviously I'm hoping he's had a very good day, and you know, you never know, some of the other pairs might have had a bit of a blowout as well, so we'll not know that until we get all the weights. So I'm going to get packed away now for the last time in this series, and it's been alright, it's been a good series. One of the key things has been the fact that you've not been able to use Blue Worm and Joker, but you know, that's been the same for everybody, and it would have been interesting to see how that would have made a difference to the fishing and things. So, but I'm going to get the kit packed away now, and hopefully I'm going to get a phone call very shortly from Rich with a report that he's caught a few fish to keep us up in that top 10. Well, they've weighed a little bit better than I thought, £3.2, real mixed bag, a couple of little stocky carp in there, mainly roach and a couple of little skimmers, so £3.2. Haven't heard from Richard yet, so I'm going to load the van up now, head over to the cafe and find out what he's got, and find out what tally we've got between us.